the whole idea behind this series is myself and a lot of my friends like you, Mike, we have watched this massive evolution the last 10 years, not just in the digital space, but truly the entire ecosystem of marketing and advertising and branding has had massive table flips. Additionally, I have seen an explosion, if you will, of non-vetted, whether it be agencies or information that is out there. And what, in my opinion, that has caused is, I think that's opened up a lot of great opportunity, but the, if you will, stranger danger moment is there's so much of it that's not only not vetted, but not true.
Yeah.
Or partially true, which is even more dangerous information in the advertising and marketing space.
Right.
I want to preface that because you and I both live in the world of all advertising works, right? Like I'm not
Yes, I like that.
but it's true,
Yeah,
right? All
absolutely.
advertising works. But inside of that, I loved what you said earlier, that all advertising does need to be measured. But also inside of even that, you have to begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do this series in part for that. So we'll just open with, whether you're on the advertising agency side and you're on the CMO side, this is the experience that we're living in today, this over-information age. Right? And so what's next? And we've got a whole lot to talk about, but I want to start with picking your partners and how you pick your partners and why, if you're beginning with the end in mind. So I met you, gosh, it's been 2 decades?
It's been long. I was way less gray.
Yeah. Started when he was 10. And even back then, when we were looking for long-term partners in both digital, we have some amazing partners in traditional broadcast, and we wanted to expand our digital offerings. And so when I first met Michael Klabon, AKA the Mike, I was looking for an agency, a digital agency that truly understood the space, but also understood the ecosystem of the brand.
Yeah.
Which is really, really different. And the first thing I learned from you was, which you guys will find entertaining, but the first thing I learned is that there's not just a Google partner.
Right.
So tell us about, what are Google partners and what are you looking for? What do you want?
I'm a dinosaur in this space, so I've seen the iterations of how Google embraces agencies, how they embrace, back when I started, in this space, the 2 big Google partners were companies called Yodel and Reach Local, if you remember them. And back then, their partnership was based on, no joke, was based on the spend of the agency. And they would, because they're partnered with Google, they would get a percentage of the click cost. And Google recognized, obviously, that one of the things that has made Google who they are is that their entire goal when they set out to do what they were doing is to take all of the world's information, put it in one place, and then give it away for free. And if they were doing that and then held hostage, if you will, to a partner that there was some sort of monetary agreement to what you would spend, and then that's how you got more perks with Google, well, that kind of goes against what they were trying to accomplish. And so, to your point, if you're looking for an agency, you want to understand and make sure that they are, as you said, vetted. They want to make sure that they have the expertise, that they have the ability to connect with publishers like Google, like Facebook. So there has been a lot of iterations. Today, there's really 2 versions or 2 levels of partnership you want to be paying attention to. There's a Google partner, and then there's a Google Premier partner. And a Google Premier partner is where you want to start, if possible. And the reason for it is that they have been vetted and are among, in Google's perspective, the top 3% of agencies across the world. So what does it mean? Why do I care that my partner is a Premier or is a partner in general? And the idea is that you're going to get so many ideas thrown at you today, just like we were talking about. Like I get 15 to 20 emails a day from different marketing agencies that have this new shiny object. And you've got to be able to go back to a source to a foundation to really say, is this real? A, is it true? And can it be measured? And that's where the partnership level with Google comes, is because we want to be able to have something that we can check with the source, right? We can work with the team that says, okay, we're hearing this, where do I go to really truly determine whether that's true? And right now, that's still Google. So that's where I would that's why if I'm looking for an agency, I would look for somebody that has been vetted by the source, which is still today Google. Yeah.
This is just one piece, right? We're just looking at Google's space today. We're going to talk a little bit about what is happening in the world of Google, and then some secret sauce that Mike is going to share with us, which I can't wait. Inside of that, I want to say this is just one piece, right?
Yeah.
The true power in marketing and advertising is this idea of omni-channel. You've had a lot of conversation about that, right? Again, inside of the world of, if it all works, where do I go?
Yeah.
Man, did we get in some spirited debate and challenge and have fun with this. Not just with Mike, we have multiple partners, and we also get together, all of us, in one room, and we discuss marketing. It's not just my conversation with you, it's my conversation with you, and we'll talk about Bill from Shompton, of course Craig Ray from Lunch Bucket, and then we'll also bring in other freelancers based on what we're doing. But we have this nucleus because omni-channel advertising is at its best when everybody knows what's going on in and out of the sandbox.
Yeah, man.
Right? So inside of that, I can honestly say the biggest thing that we chatted about when we did our kind of first-of-year deal was shift the conversation immediately away from what lever are we going to pull in 23? What lever are we going to pull for the next 3 years? And what I mean by levers, and Mike started smiling because we talked a lot. Levers are platforms. Levers are media, right? Am I going to do radio? Am I going to do TV? Am I going to do OTT? Am I going to stream? Am I going to do native advertising? I mean, you can see where this is going. There's hundreds of levers.
Yeah.
And the focus tends to be on, bright, shiny object.
Bright, shiny object, yeah. Well, and it's happening even inside of Google's ecosystem, right? They are continuing to launch new levers, right? The couple that we've seen recently is discovery campaigns or performance max campaigns. But to your point, what we came up with, like, what's crucial is the focus needs to be on the audience, right? Who are we trying to get in front of? There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different levers. But if we're not uncovering who our audience is first, and we're just going marketing lever first, then again, we're just putting good money after bad. Like we've always talked about, like I say, like marketing is only good if we can measure. So if the audience is wrong, then what are we measuring for, right? And so this is when we start talking about the levers. The other part of that is, if I had one thing, like if I could just stand in front of every company that wants to market, I would say one thing, and that is that, can you please hold whatever lever it is accountable to what it's actually good at, right? Can we stop asking Facebook advertising to be Google? It's not. It's not targeted the same. It's not reaching a user at the same point of their journey. So can we just please, just let them do what they do best? And so, like you said, we'll talk about this later on, but when you start talking omni-channel, and this is obviously what one of the things that has made you so successful over the years is how you bring in the people that have expertise in this area and this area and this area. And again, not to be funny, like being in the digital space, I am commonly asked to help with IT issues, right? Or I'm commonly asked to help with someone's phone. No, I'm sorry, I can't. That's not what I do, right? But it's kind of tongue in cheek. But the point is that finding experts in what they do is very similar to when we start talking about your actual marketing. Let Facebook be the expert in what Facebook is. Let Google, let programmatic, let radio, let TV, let these channels do what they do best. And then, to your point, omni-channel attribution. Let's figure out how they work together, which is all what we all want, is an end result or an end conversion. So.
Beautifully said. And let's talk about that, actually, just at this level, right? Like inside the CMO experience, if you will. I mean, I'll give you my shade of that, and then you give me, not real hashtag shade, but although maybe later. So for me, Facebook is the queen of behavior. So Google's the king of search. Facebook is the queen of behavior.
Absolutely.
So I'm able to marry those two to make a omni-channel experience.
Yeah.
When I go to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is that extra lever, if you will, that addresses B2B. I'm able to have longer conversations. I'm able to add in-depth opinions and polls. Then you add in Instagram, which, stepchild of Facebook, of course, but Instagram's a digital magazine, in my opinion, right? So everything needs to be addressed visually first, and then audio add-on. And then you've got the lovely, 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 fun, mischievous child, TikTok, right? The last bright, shining space in a dark media soul. Don't get me wrong, we love social media, but for me, TikTok has forced, in a good way, it's forced advertisers to welcome back creativity.
Yeah.
Because you could not, you could truly, it wasn't good, but you could get away, and this is zero offense to Hootsuite, but Hootsuite sort of started this idea of do one ad and proliferate it everywhere. That's not how advertising works. So TikTok really, I think, humbled agencies and CMOs alike, and even on the flip side, right? Digital agencies, because we finally had another playground where creativity was paramount, and you had the opportunity to truly play and be self-publishing. So, and I just want to hit that top level before we deep dive into Google, because
no, I think it's a good point, and as we there will be another TikTok, right? There will be another, and to your point, as we talk about vetting, if you're vetting who these new levers are they doing something that is, to your point, different, right? We've seen companies, we've seen platforms like TikTok, I mean, think of Pinterest, that really wanted to push into the advertising space, and they had their niche. But when they came into the advertising side, they really weren't doing anything all that different than what Facebook was doing. Right. It's what I love about if we consider what TikTok is capable of doing, is still based off of a very core principle, like I said before. It's still based in your audience. But the key then, and I love that you bring up TikTok, I hadn't even thought of this, but when you talk about if we make it audience first, then our only job is to reach that audience as they go throughout their day, right? And so they are not, especially in the mortgage space, nobody's going to TikTok with the mode in mind that, oh right, I'm looking for a home loan. No, that's not why they're there. But the idea is that if you are creative and you're using that platform to make sure that you're just creating a touch point. Crazy stat that Google put out, this is a number of years ago, and you can imagine it's only bigger now, but when somebody is buying a car, Google tracked these journeys. When somebody was buying a car, the average number of touch points or searches that this user would do was 400. And this is like 6-7 years ago. That's intentional searches when they're looking to buy a car. So now what we can do, by, again, to your point, by understanding these levers and using something like TikTok, is I can create these touch points in between the user actually going to search. So if it's 400 for a car, what must it be for a home and then a mortgage loan? So if that's the case, and we can interject just fun, creative content that is reminding that user throughout their normal journey. They're on TikTok. They're not on TikTok looking for a mortgage loan. They're on TikTok looking at fun videos, seeing creativity. And if we can interject there and we can just remind them with good, fun, creative content, that's another one of those touch points that are going to be needed in that user's journey to whatever company they choose. So yeah, great point. I didn't even think to bring that up.